Okay, let's just jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at something pretty massive in the AI space, reasoning RAG. We're talking about how AI is evolving from basically just a glorified search tool into a true, deep-thinking analytical partner. I mean, if you've messed around with AI lately, you know getting it to fetch documents. Yeah, that's the easy part. But getting it to actually think and process those documents logically, right, that is the real frontier we are crossing today.
So picture this. You ask your AI a complex, multi-part financial question. Something like, how will the latest inflation data affect XYZ Bank's quarterly margins? Now, you don't just want a data dump, right? You don't want a handful of random PDFs about inflation just thrown your way. No, you expect a professional-grade, highly synthesized answer, something that actually addresses the core business impact.
Now here's where we run into what I like to call the librarian trap. On the left side here, we've got standard RAG. Standard RAG is basically your fast, well-intentioned librarian. It is super keyword-focused. So if you ask about inflation, boom, the librarian frantically grabs literally any document with the word inflation in it. It's lightning fast, but honestly, it's pretty shallow. It doesn't actually understand the financial story. But on the right, that's reasoning RAG. Think of this as your financial analyst. Instead of just fetching files, the analyst uses multi-step logic. It actively reads, synthesizes, and logically processes the information to give you a real, insight-driven conclusion.
And this quote from ThoughtMinds absolutely hits the nail on the head regarding the psychology behind this shift. It points out that standard RAA operates like Daniel Kahneman's System 1 thinking. It's a single fast-forward pass, instinctual almost. But complex, compositional tasks, they require System 2, that deliberate, logical working memory. Slow thinking in AI literally forces the model to project its reasoning processes, to map out the steps before it ever makes a final choice.
Moving into part 1, the digital notebook workflow, showing the AI's work.
Let's see this in action. The crucial point here is that this system doesn't just fetch data. It performs a literal mini financial audit. Check out step 2. It evaluates its sources, actively flags a news article as way too vague and just tosses it out. It decides to focus purely on high-value data, like the bank's net interest margin guidance. Then, looking at step 3, it synthesizes. It chains that logic together to calculate the exact impact of a 0.25% rate hike. By forcing the model to show its work step by step like a digital notebook, we are drastically reducing AI hallucinations.
Okay, let's shift gears to part 2, techniques for deep thinking. The methodologies behind chain of thought.
So you might be wondering, how does it actually do this? Well, it's by employing these specific chain of thought methodologies. First up is query decomposition. This is where the AI breaks your massive question down into smaller, bite-sized subgoals right up front. Next is react, reason plus act. The AI continuously interleaves thinking about what to do, acting on it by searching, and then observing those results in a continuous loop. Then we've got self-ask, which is super cool. The model literally explicitly asks and answers its own intermediate questions. And finally, for the most ambiguous queries, there's tree of thoughts, allowing the AI to explore multiple different reasoning paths at the exact same time to find the most logical conclusion.
When we map this all out side by side, the business value for high-stakes fields like finance becomes painfully obvious. With standard RAG, you've just got retrieval plus generation, high hallucination risk, basic keyword search. But reasoning RAG, you're adding that crucial middle step, retrieval, reasoning, then generation. Sure, you're trading a tiny bit of speed, but in return, a massive upgrade. You get a deep, multi-hop analytical partner that is evidence-based and actively self-correcting its own logic errors before you even see the output.
And this brings us to the future of trusted AI as we look toward late 2025. We are evolving from passive, static knowledge retrieval to self-directed, agentic reasoning. This right here is the very foundation of trusted AI. It's all about building systems that don't just blindly find answers, but actually understand the complex business logic that makes those answers correct in the first place.
So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to consider for your own projects. Are your AI systems just retrieving information, or are they actually understanding the business logic behind it? Are you relying on a fast but shallow librarian, or are you ready for a true analytical partner? Think about it. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and I really hope this helps you build smarter, more reliable systems.